Hello and welcome to another episode of What's the Story Hash Brown Glory with me, Tom, and him.
Lee, hiya.
Hello, how you doing?
We're on tour again.
Great. Let's do that thing where we're in Delaware again.
We do that.
No one knows my Wayne's. Do you know my Wayne's World joke?
No.
Hi, I'm in Delaware.
I've seen Wayne's World like
I've
twice.
seen a bit of it.
I wonder if it's actually.
Quote it. Like, it's
Do
not
you know
like,
what?
It's not like Ace
I
Ventura.
wonder if this quote actually is off like the Saturday Night Live Wayne's World bits. I wonder if it's from that. 'Cause
No one knows it.
no one knows
No one knows it. I was like, yeah.
And they're like,
yeah,
hey,
right,
we're
yeah.
in Dex, let's go do a rodeo. and
Basically,
stuff.
every guest go, he's the host. I can't just say that. I'll just go. I'll
Be
just go.
polite by default.
I'll just go.
You're a
oh,
knobhead.
okay.
Let me just Google it. I'll get it up on my phone.
Yeah, we're on tour. We're in the beautiful town of Melton Mowbray.
Melton Mowbray.
Yeah. It's
We've not had any pork pie yet.
and there is my favourite brewery across the road.
Just there,
It's open. It's open, and I've seen they have a large storage area around the back.
Loads of beer.
If we come in the
Yeah, we
cover of
can
darkness, we can have all the beer we'd ever dream of.
Open up the cougar. Chicken some
The cougar.
craces.
No, I'll just put it in the van.
Yeah. There's
You'll
loads
come in the
more
van.
space.
Unmarked van. I've just had all the stickers peeled off one, so we'll come with that.
Marked van.
Well,
Doing for balaclavas or something. We could do.
we could do, yeah.
Yeah. We're not going to steal. We're not going to rob. We're
Can
not
you
going to rob.
Can you imagine if you put, instead of balaclavas, you got like tights and like your hair just pushed down over your eyes so you can see anything? I'll be fine. I'll like
It probably
me or
would, to
something.
be fair. It probably would.
Oh, Adam's on board now with making fun
Yeah.
of himself. Okay, open up the gates.
A sarong in these conditions.
Yeah. I think we've been quite busy. Well, I know I've been busy, but we have been busy as well, haven't we? Rustic's
Yeah, we've had a
been doing some
busy
stuff. Busy June.
Busy June.
Busy June.
We've done markets.
We've done,
done
markets.
Delaware.
We've done Delaware.
Delapre, which
was
is very good.
Delapre.
It was a good market. It was a very good market. We've just done Barrow last week.
Barrow
Which
Street
was very
Market.
nice, to be fair.
That's a great summer market, actually.
Yeah.
I think all the village comes out for that.
It does. And we had good chats with lots of regulars
Yeah.
in the shop. Ashley and Lisa did it with me. And yeah, we was nattering all day to people. It was lovely.
It's funny,
It
actually.
really was.
We don't live near the shop, but like I nipped into Waitrose the other day. I
Get you.
I got myself some blinis.
Too good for out,
And
yeah.
I actually did get blinis. But I got recognised in there and they're like, oh, hey up, mate, how you doing? And I was like, oh, here we go. Got to spin the yarn. But we're nearly there. Planning's nearly through.
Hopefully.
And we're going to hopefully get building started in about 2 weeks is
That's the
goal.
projected.
It's the goal. It's our
time
short-term
scale
goal.
for them.
2 weeks.
And then hopefully as soon as building work starts, the
Start
countdown
hearing-
begins.
Yeah, start hearing the mixes being made and the plastic being stuck to the walls and roofs, trusses being trussed and left
Tiles
and-
being tiled.
yeah, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So we're nearly there. We're nearly back building, and
Back
then
where we want to be.
be slinging some hash browns before you know it.
Very true.
Yeah.
Did you bring any hash browns with you?
No.
I felt that was that not the?
Well,
I thought that was-
we
Wait,
did.
They're always
before
on
the
the
fire.
table, aren't they?
Yeah, before the fire, we were doing like a hash brown off, and alternate weeks we'd
So
do
when
like
we
a
do
hash
a
brown.
repeat one
Yeah.
in Rustic
Yeah.
Kitchen,
Oh, okay.
we do
yeah.
like a tray and we do the
Oh,
loaded
wow.
hash browns. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It really
Delicious.
was. It
Yeah.
really
Because I
was.
do love them. We have to get extra, obviously, whenever we're there. It's just it's the given.
Yeah.
It's,
Absolutely. Right, well, shut up and I'll introduce you because that's a good conversation to have where you blow smoke up our ass. So let's. Ooh, I've got messages. People have been texting me and there's people at my door. Today's guest on What's the Story Hash Brown Glory is a bloke who likes to add a little more charcoal and smoking chips to the fire. He's a dude that likes to play with smokers and fire. Pretty cool, huh? He's a major part of the Melton Mowbray food scene, with his family running 2 landmark foodie destinations, and one of them, well, actually 2 of them. One of them is right here in the Melton Mowbray cattle market, where we are
Right
now.
here. We're here.
Lee and I are big fans of munching this guy's nuts. I mean, smoked nuts. He
Bit of
smoked,
blue. Bit of blue.
he smoked everything from feta to salmon and brisket. And as everyone knows, in the words of Bob Mortimer, meats and cheeses always pleases. Please welcome the smoking sensation. It's John from Feast of the Furious!
Hello.
Hiya.
How you doing? Welcome along.
Yeah, welcome. Welcome
you.
aboard.
I'm going to grab my tea
Thank you.
now.
How's the sofa?
Truffle.
Is the sofa
sofa's
treating
good.
you
Sofa's good. Truffle
We've
likes
used,
it as well.
we've used the coffee table for a mic stand, and I'm sort of blacked.
Also,
I'm going this way.
don't touch the mics because the coffee table will fall over.
It's cozy corner as we call it. That's it's not got a table number. It's just cozy corner.
Yeah, we have that.
Yeah.
We have. What did we have? We had settee,
Yeah,
didn't we?
binned it off.
Oh.
It's not a good ROI on chair and seats.
Geek room.
Yeah, in your bed.
Truffle.
So I've had to bring my dog today, and Lee keeps whistling, and that's why she jumped up. She was relaxing, lovely on the
She
floor,
was.
and Lee whistled
Fine,
with the
she's
entrance,
fine.
and so here she is. But
Keeping
she's good.
guard.
She can't see any of the dogs, so we should be all right.
Yeah, she's not going to bark at someone. She might bark at Adam in his dress.
This woman doesn't smell right.
Oh, woman's got a beard.
She can see, you know. So, John, I always start the pod by asking, how did you get here? Like,
By car?
by car, walking?
no.
Like, what have you done to suddenly?
What's the
Yeah.
story? Because
At
I
the-
remember
at the
we first.
moment we're here in your smokehouse.
We first come across you during lockdown buying your smoked nuts.
Yeah.
which we
Put
gobbled, which we
to put
gobbled
into
up.
hampers.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah, it's been a while, to be fair. It's 2017, I think we've properly started. I'd been in retail for many a year. I think I was coming up to my 15-year award at good old Ryman Stationers, where I worked for many a year as
Did you
manager.
get a Parker pen for your 15th
So
year?
no, 10. I think it was 10 years. I got a paperweight that is in the office.
Right,
Nice.
still using it.
Nice.
Weighting down papers. It is, and 15 years, I think, was going to be a carriage clock, but I just missed out. I
one
think
of them
I was
gold
just,
ones?
Yeah, no, very small. They look smaller than the picture as well. Yeah, you get some money as well. I'm not. It was fab. It was. You get like a month's salary or so. I can't remember what it was.
Wow.
There was some a certain amount of weeks per how many. So
Even if you're crap.
no comment.
Oh yeah, old Edmund got it, but he's a knobhead.
Couldn't possibly comment. But yeah, so I'd been there many a year, and I always loved the thought of running my own business, and I always loved food. And I suppose that was I was trying to think, what could I do that was a bit more unique? What could I do that was more of a passion? So I basically, on my 30th birthday, handed him a notice and said I'm going to do a food truck.
Fair.
So,
What was the point? Sorry, when like you thought, oh, coming up to 15 years, was it like kind of a milestone? 15 years doing that, and I was like, I want to do something different. I want to.
To be fair, I still enjoyed it. It was still we had a really good team where I was over in Grantham at the time. We had a great team. We were doing really well. It was just, I don't know. I think it was
An
just
itch.
something inside me that I always wanted to do. I love food. I mean, it's that thing of I'm always thinking about my next meal. I'm always thinking it. So like even when I'm there, I'm like, oh, what we having? We had a donut club going on that we were ranking different donuts, and people were bringing it. There was always a food element to summer. If there was a competition, or I was trying to encourage people to sell more, Red Nose Day pens or whatever. It was you win a sausage roll. You win. I don't realise all these things now. It was all food motivated.
You win a
and
sausage roll.
Yeah. Oh, they went crazy for that. There's still arguments who should have won that.
There's a real thing in management with gamification about actually like turning stuff into a game to like get them to achieve more, because everyone likes to be like the top scorer or whatever.
Yeah.
Just a bit of competition. It's natural human kind of competitiveness.
Yeah. So yeah, I was enjoying it. It was great. It's just I always had in my head that I was gonna have my own business or do something. I always loved that. I loved seeing other people do it, or these big names and stuff that you see, and yeah. So my hobby was barbecuing in the back garden. And I think I just got into smoking a little bit from TV shows. I love Man versus Food, or Diners, Drive-ins and Dives, or any of that sort of like eat too much and it's amazing and it's massive, or it's an eating challenge. And barbecue always just sort of stood out. And then once you've done a bit at home, fair enough, you get it wrong a lot of the time, but when you get it right, it just like it hits a bit different.
It's a lot of trial and error barbecue.
Yeah.
It's completely different from being in a restaurant kitchen.
And a lot of time as well, right? Like things take 15 hours.
Yeah.
You have to get up at the crack of dawn just to have your beer at
you gotta keep
7 with you.
Keep on tempering the little thing at the bottom to keep the temperature. You gotta wake up in the middle of the night.
I don't think I've got patience for that.
It does me head in.
And
I'd love to get it.
You soon find an Argos barbecue is not quite up to the scratch at that point as well, unfortunately. Like it leaks, you'll see, the smoke's coming out here and the temperature's not great. And then I was ending up like, modding it a little bit. There was a little bit of that when I saw on the internet, you could, change this, do that. And so, that just got a little bit of a hobby that I thought, you know what, there we go. Food truck. Loved the idea of a food truck. That was big around that time as well. And then I saw a film called Chef.
Oh, yeah.
Which is just, fab. I'd already got the idea before that, but that was just a little, an added, you've got to do it. Love that film. A guy who wasn't working in a restaurant ended up getting a food truck, doing, Cubano sandwiches and stuff like that. It was lovely. So, food truck.
What was on the menu in your first kind of food truck? Whereabouts did you go? Did you go to the local market?
To start with, we were like, I'm going to hit up food festivals. I'm going to be at Glastonbury now. Not quite that.
It's possible.
It is possible. If you mortgage your house from the sound of it, when I've read some of the stuff, but yeah, we were just food festivals. Always loved attending them anyway. If you see one in Nottingham, Leicester, whatever, and I love going to a farmer's market or a festival as a foodie sort of person anyway. So, we got into a few different food festivals. It was Nottingham Way, I think Newstead Abbey, Rufford Abbey, we were there. We did a couple of other bits, something in Melton. We used to come down here outside Round Corner Brewery as well. So we knew we had a little crowd here. But yeah, I was saying it's when we started out, these sort of food festivals and stuff like that, in July, August time, whatever, the lovely weather, you have to book in, say, in January.
Yeah.
You have to pay your fee or part of your fee in January. Yeah. And they were thousands, some of them.
Yeah.
And obviously at the beginning, you don't know what's going to work. You don't know whether that's good. I don't know whether that's the right amount. I'm like, how much brisket am I selling for that? So
I still suffer with that. And I'm 25 years into being a chef.
It's difficult to know unless you've seen someone go there. And spoke to them and you'll do 100 or 1,000 or whatever and it's worth this and you can figure it out. It's always a gamble. So
footfall's massive and then
that's
weather as well.
Really put us off always doing like a street food van is that you just don't know what's going to happen there. Even the markets. I mean, we're doing the markets right now because of our lockdown situation, but and it's just something to do, but it's a big risk. You come back with stock, and our stock is perishable.
That's
the downside of it.
That's the other thing, and so we started off food truck, just brisket. So we're doing a little roll with some pickles that we make and a little sauce that we came up with called Furious Sauce, which is like a barbecue sauce with a bit of a chili kick. And then we did pulled pork because people knew that well as well, and we do our own little red cabbage slaw, and again we use that sauce on it. And then we needed a veggie option, so we started cold smoking some halloumi cheese, which everyone loves a bit of halloumi, and we did a little halloumi wrap with rocket, hummus, and another one of our hot sauces, a little fruity pineapple mango one. And that was it. 3 items. That was generally all we did. And it was all we could serve in the food truck as well, because there's not a lot of space. No. Unless it's just me and Dad in there.
Less is more as well.
Yeah. So that's how we sort of started. We were doing doing some of the food festivals, but I quickly realised we can't spend all that money when you've not got anything coming in. I wanted to leave my job completely. I was doing a bit of part-time to sort of keep my hand in. So we also thought, well, what about doing a market stall selling, the hot sauces that we're putting on the stuff anyway? We're already cold smoking some halloumi cheese. Maybe we smoke a couple of other bits. And it sort of developed, and we ended up with a little farmer's market stall, and we'd come down here literally 20 yards down there and do a little farmer's market every Tuesday, Friday, and then did other farmer's markets. And that just brought in a little bit more of a regular income that meant I could eventually get out of my full-time job, and it built it up a bit. So yeah, we just started with a few simple bits on the food truck, little food store, and that sort of grew from there. We did smoked nuts, we did smoked salt, we did more and more cheeses, we did smoked butter. We managed to win a couple of great taste awards on them as well. So smoked butter, we won a great taste award early on. Smoked Stilton, and then our smoked almonds as well. So, and a vegan cheese that we did. So we were getting a bit of momentum on that, which was fab. And then, doing the food truck sort of as and when we had it booked in. We had a Christmas. Bless my dad actually was the first thing we did in the food truck was we're like, we need to get out in it at some point. And I'm like, I don't know when and where. And then my dad was like, right, I think it was is it Presswold or Presswick Hall? Presswold Hall.
Presswold Hall.
They had a drive-in movie theatre thing for Christmas. So I was like, I think he just tied in some really good Christmas films that I must admit I really loved, as well as like doing a bit of serving of food like in between and stuff. So I was like, right, let's do it. It's a perfect little opportunity. So that was our first like gig.
I bet you learned loads on that day.
Oh, yeah. We were there in our Christmassy jumpers in the food truck, sweating in the heat of the cooking. And I still remember our first customer now, Chris, his name was, and I took his photo. I was like, well, I want to give you it free, but then you wouldn't be my first paid customer. So I was like, it was lovely that you're the first person to try out. And bless him, he still follows us on social media now. And I still think about that like now because it's lovely how it's sort of, We've perfected and honed that sort of that menu and those things from then to now and to the smokehouse now sort of thing. So yeah, we did a mixture of all that, and then sort of COVID hit. We were sort of fortunate that food sort of markets, farmers markets, were about the only thing that kept going during that. The outdoor.
I suppose the street food.
Yeah, they did a bit of
thing to do as well.
And we just went down the market thing. Bless Round Corner were doing their beer collections. They were like, do you want to bring your market stall down here? And like people can have a little treat when they come down and they're queuing. So, and then we ended up doing really well during the COVID time because people were bored at home. They had furlough money, so they were spending it.
People wanted to eat deliciousness, didn't they, in that time? Yeah. I remember just thinking they wanted something nice. It was just so... They were stuck at home and wanted, they wanted a restaurant quality or, that feel of eating out without actually, because they were cooking for themselves 3 times a day as well, which people aren't used to.
I think people didn't know how much they missed going out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because when you can't go out, it's literally like, oh shit, I went out a lot and I enjoyed it. Yeah. So when you did these cook at home things, they really enjoyed them and it was good for... Well, it was good for us.
Yeah, it was really good for us.
It was good for you as well.
I remember it was my birthday in lockdown and we had the hammer and pincers like take home meal or whatever, rolling up in the car and getting all the bits, and then I was chefing it all up at home and making it look like they'd done all the hard work, obviously.
Yeah. They were really good, weren't they? I had one of those as well, actually, on my birthday as well, and it was because it was a real treat, that, because it was big money, but it was well worth it. It's just not money that you can spend every weekend, or certainly not me, but. Yeah, they were really good. Like, I remember eating the jus, and I'd not had jus like that since I left the hammer. And I remember just being like, I don't want to give you, I was literally like a dog on a plate, like, oh, it's the richness that I missed. Yeah. Yeah, that was good.
There was certain bits of that a lockdown that I was ordering, like, pizza kits from, I think it was Pilgrim Pizza down London Way and a few other bits. And I was like, oh, these are doing it. I was like, I don't get the time or to get to any of these. I was like, I quite enjoyed some of the bits that you could, like the inventiveness and whatever.
We ordered a bacon sandwich, didn't we? What were they? Le Swine.
Le Swine.
Swine had a bacon sandwich and it inspired us heavily with our bacon sandwich.
Ribbinator.
Yeah, the Ribbinator as well.
The Ribbinator we got a little bit obsessed with.
Yeah, we did.
A couple
I remember getting it and just cooking it and be like, but secretly thinking, we can do a bit better.
Yeah. Yeah, so there was some benefits of that kind of
it's gone off a bit now, the cook at home
dispatch
boxes
stuff,
but they still do some dispatch in restaurant kit. They're still about and they still do them, but it's not as popular as obviously during COVID.
But it's just not going to be as people just going back to the restaurants, and even if they can't get into whatever the hammer, for example, to use at a restaurant, then they're just eating somewhere else.
I think them things are great on like New Year's Eve to get a restaurant kit in, like loads of tapas and stuff, and put it out on a table that's done by a quality chef and stuff like that. It's just them kits are really good.
Yeah, I like the style. We need to do that more. Well, that was, I suppose, we went down the farmers market stall route rather than that. We could have done more. I saw a lot that did do the hot food sort of thing, and I suppose some of the brisket and stuff like that can reheat quite well. We could have done that and done a little kit at home. At the time, we went down that route, the other route, but and that sort of set us off on we didn't get back to the food truck much after that because we were then busy with doing the farmers market all the time. So, and the kit that we have a little unit up on the way into Scorford that's like about a double garage size. So we'd and we only had a bit of the kit that we had at the beginning. So it was sort of, what can we do? I want to get back to the hot food because that was my passion and the main drive when I started it. That's the exciting bit for me. And if I can't do that, then I like to create an ingredient that you could then use in cooking, like, the smoked butter or something else. So I liked that, but I did like the hot food. So yeah, we were like, what can we do? We need more space. Do we go for it? And this sort of area came up. Round Corner were building, and we sort of had talked to the guys down here, and they were looking at a bar next door as well, like a cocktail bar and a gin distillery. So we were like, it looks a nice little, but we know we can serve food out because we've done the food truck here. So we went with it, a gamble a bit, and thought, well, we can do all the production down here.
When was the first?
Well, that's leverage, isn't it? Then, because using the space that you're already renting for, you can still carry on doing the production, and actually got a space here for people to eat. So, in that scenario, if you were going blind, where you're just literally opening a smokehouse and not having the market, that's actually a risk.
Yeah.
But with this, it's leverage. You're folding into it something that you can use. Yeah. And you could use it for anything,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's a space that actually can be rented out or whatever, when you closed,
Yeah, it's making the most. At the beginning, the plan was to have it cordoned off a bit, not cordoned off, but a fake wall, and we literally just serve out like food truck style, because that was like,
I was partitioned
like, yeah, just so that we didn't need a lot of seating area, because I'm like, oh, I'm going to need staff, I'm going to need this, that, and the other, and bless, we had, I've got to name them, Nell and Murph, bless them, that are patrons of Round Corner, retired, but extremely handy. They've done the whole kit out of this mess for us. And now, bless them, they were doing that as they were retired, and now they've created their own little company. They're doing odd jobs and all sorts. Bless them. So, Head to Hand Solutions.
Well done, them too.
And that's what they created in here. We were their sort of first, baby of like doing stuff, and like we've took loads and loads of pallets apart. Well, I say we. They took loads and loads of pallets apart. That were a part of my auntie's been. So maybe we do have a bit of food and drink in the family. My auntie and uncle run a coffee business and a coffee shop over Newark Way, the Governor's House and Cherezina Coffee. So she literally had pallets and pallets sat on her driveway that needed going, and I was like, I'll have them.
Yeah, can make use of them.
And that's literally all the walls. Some of the tables are made out of pallets. We reuse like some of the office stuff in here. We've got a table that's made out of a door.
That's what you need to do. Though.
We've got them.
You have to do that.
We've placed a few, but I've made plenty of tables out of doors and pieces of like good pieces of timber. And you're like, right, well, I can order some legs. Table one at Rustic Kitchen is like a reclaimed door from someone else's like outcast has been turned into.
It's the best.
What was the time scale from first speaking to the guys down at Stockyard to actually open it? How long did it?
It was actually quite a long time. Shock. We had the idea very early on. With next door the gym bar building, they sort of, because this was all sort of one unit out back, they had to partition a bit of that off as well. There was issues with the floor was not level out back. So we were all trying to come up with solutions and figure out stuff like that before. And then to be fair, just from the point of view of financing it all, like we had to sell the food truck to cost for it. We managed to get some grants. We managed to get some loans, but it costs a lot of money to kit out the stuff. So we were like, it's like out back, we've got a really good sized kitchen that we still want to grow into a bit more. We had minimal equipment when we started. We've just brought what we had. We've had a little cold smoking room. We've got a little hot smoking room. But it probably took 2 years or more of like planning, saying we're interested, starting works. We got let down by builders for months on end, and all the trying to then piece in a plumber to get in at this time and the electrician at this time and the extraction
the
needed.
project management's hard, isn't it?
Oh, when it was just me as well.
Yeah.
Bless, I'm like trying to do all the hats of everything, and bless, my family helped out no end. But yeah, it was in my head, the vision and everything.
It seems like a really positive part of your whole setup, though, because your family really are in on it. Your mum and dad work in.
Yeah. They both help out in the evenings and the daytime, or cleaning, or all the other jobs. So it's been a proper, even from the food truck days when it's just me and my dad doing it. So now we've got some staff starting, and we're at the point where we're sort of growing a bit more, and we need that. But yeah, it was just sort of a big project. But we did a little bit of crowdfunding as well. So we had some fantastic sort of wider family and friends and regulars and stuff like that. And yeah, it's sort of, instead of just having this little partition at the front and doing a bit, we ended up having a 30-odd seater front of house and everything.
So it's quite similar to how we started, wasn't it? We're a lot of family, because we could work on the garden basically at Rustic before we were allowed into the building, because they were still doing building works to make it safe before we got the lease and stuff. So we could work on the garden, and no end of family and friends come and help us dig and dig up big rocks and stuff like that. I say we've just been going over the kind of the startup again. We've been writing a little book that's kind of in process, and just reliving them kind of early stages. It's kind of, you forget how it all come together. And it was, you do crowdfunders, you'd
find a little loan here then there,
family loan from family members that have helped you out and stuff like that, and a startup business loan and stuff like this all helps, because like you say, it costs a lot of money to get all this stuff in and up and running like that.
Yeah. It's and it does. We every so often I find myself, I've just closed at the end of a market day or whatever, and I'm like, well, I'll get myself a coffee now or whatever, and sit down on Cozy Corner and you just sit there for a minute, and just collect your thoughts or whatever. And I'm like, and then I do look over and I'm like, oh, actually, it's pretty.
Oh yeah,
it's amazing when you.
We are terrible at that. Like just sitting back and going, holy shit, look what we've achieved.
Yeah,
I would say for the first 2 years, I don't think we sat down and gone, actually, it's pretty fucking all right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is bad.
Do you know what? I was listening to a podcast on the way here. Do you know
to.
what you hear the least as an entrepreneur? Do you know the words you hear least? Well done.
Yeah.
No one ever says that. No one ever says well done.
Yeah.
You go around to all the staff. Oh, well done, well done. No one ever says to you, well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Oh, thanks.
The odd family member.
Wasn't no heart in it.
Definitely,
There's no heart in it, though, was there? It was cold.
It was cold.
Was he talking to me? He was talking to me, yeah.
No, he was.
He was cold as ice.
Cold as ice.
But yeah, it's hard to look back on it. It's and that's nice when you do get a chance to see where you've come and what you've done and stuff like that. Like, I suppose awards and things as well. Like I said about the great taste things, we got a couple of pie awards as well. I know you guys love a little.
What were you packing? Which pie were you having?
We did a smoked beef and smoked Stilton pie.
We should collab on that.
Yeah.
We should collab on that, because our pastry recipe shits all over everyone's, apart from Sandwich Brothers.
Pastry.
I mean, no one's going to beat those guys.
Yeah, we won a little silver on that. Like, it was the first entry that we did, and I was massively proud of that. We wanted to do pie nights, and I was thinking ahead to what we could do here, and smoked twists on stuff. I was I love a bit of that. So and we won a bronze on a smoked cheese, cauliflower, potato leek, sort of charred leek pie. So I wanted a meat, a veggie, and a vegan pie.
Yeah.
And then we'd have a cracking pie night, and we managed to get awards on the veggie, and couldn't quite crack the vegan one. I was doing a cauliflower cheese with our vegan cheese. We got a few marks off, and then I kept trying, and it didn't quite happen. And we changed to something else and did a smoky paneer. Was it paneer? No, smoky tofu like tikka thing. That was delicious, but that didn't do it either.
We got silver for our aubergine and spinach one, didn't we?
Pastry.
I've won class champion with Thomas the Caterer.
Yeah,
You've
got some good. Yeah, we need your pastry. that's the.
A little, so when he won that for Thomas the Caterer, I was working for Bespoke, and we was in the final together.
Oh wow! Okay.
But I won.
Beat us, didn't he? You know why?
Sabotage.
It was the pastry. The pastry was just a winner.
See,
and the filling.
Yeah.
And because it was just better.
I think I had a soggy bottom a bit on one once.
Yeah, that's good.
Can't have a soggy bottom.
Can't have a soggy bottom.
Adam knows
on
that.
another one. I was like, that's...
Adam knows that. It's one of the things he knows.
And on my
Can't
pie.
have a soggy bottom.
That's just So, but yeah, it's nice to look back on some of the stuff, and
It really is.
It's a good little. And the pie awards that's just
it's
nice.
Fantastic.
It's in Melton.
It's a fantastic thing.
Love it.
I've said this a few times. If it wasn't in Melton, I'm not sure that I would enter, because I would want to hand deliver my pies, and I'm in awe of like people coming from like this. Well, I mean, all over the country. I mean, I've been in Scotland and been near a pie place. What are they called? Jarvis Pickle. They're in Scotland, and Berwick, I think it is, and they're bringing them down.
Yeah,
it's wild. I mean, the dedication is huge.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that if it was in, in Scotland, whether I'd bring the pies up and have them judged.
That's in the church. It's just a nice little
spiritual home of a pie.
Yeah, it's nice. It's I do like that. So maybe we've had a couple of pie nights, and obviously when it's pie festival down here as well.
We're coming
We've done a little.
Yeah, we're in Pie Fest. We've got a stall.
Yeah, nice. That's
We've
we used to do the pies then and have like pie and chips and gravy or something, and so yeah, it's love a bit of that. Love any of
Maybe
that.
on British Pie Week we could do the collab, like, because we'll just need to consult on it. Ultimately. Get it ready, and then we can do it together.
Yeah, that's always a good. It's always a winner, I think.
March.
Yeah.
Something to work towards.
Yeah.
So what does the day-to-day look for you? Like, when you open here?
So yeah, that's a good question. So we're open Friday and Saturday night, sort of 5 till 8, 9ish. So we mirror Round Corner sort of opening time, because we're not licensed, so you can bring a beer over from them, or you can take the food over from us to them, and there's a massive seating area, obviously. As soon as there's a bit of sun down here, it's fantastic. They've got their little bit of pizza going on as well, so it's fab for a little bit of food and drink down here. So Friday and Saturday nights, we do a bit of Just Eat as well for anybody that is around but doesn't want to go out, which is fair enough. So that's the barbecue. That's the brisket, pulled pork, belly ribs, beef short ribs, all the sort of sides and bits that you'd expect with that. And then we're normally open on a Tuesday morning for market day, and Friday morning where there's another market down here. So we're open for sort of coffee, cakes. The shop is always open whenever we're open at the front as well. So our smoked cheeses, you can get normal cheeses from the Melton Cheese Board, of course, as well. Grab a pork pie, any of our smoked bits, chilies, garlic, salt, stuff like that. So there's and bits to do your barbecuing at home, like the wood chunks and cold smoking kits and stuff like that. So a couple of days a week we're sort of open with that. Evenings we're open with the hot food, and then if there's a food festival on or something else happening, we'll be open, like all weekend for brisket and whatever if there's a food festival on. So
I did come actually when I think it was Cheese Fest. I came and had rib. Was it then?
Yeah, that rings a bell. Yeah.
Delicious. The kids were like, "Can we have some?" I was like, "No, you've just had a cookie from Dilly Dong's
You've chose now
coffee shop." I was like, "You made your choice. I'm coming here and having this deliciousness." You had something lathered in
sugar,
and I'm having the spicy stuff.
The candy floss shaped like an elephant or whatever that's out there. That's those sort of weird and wacky things. No, I'm having the brisket.
So we was speaking beforehand. They're saying building's going to start soon on some catering kind of buildings. What's the
happening there, is it?
Yeah, so we've got a large car park area at the moment and not a lot around it, and the Melton Council and the Stockyard have got I think it was around £12 million to do. So the car park's been redone completely. So then it's a space to use for, festival stuff as well as car parking. And then all around it are a few buildings. There's an anchor building that's like a 3-story, I think it is, building. Then some units. The idea, the plan is the production unit. So they want food producers, and then they'll have a bit of retail at the front as well for them.
So this is for people that make food and ship it out, but also have a bit of retail so people can come in and make more of the place throughout the week.
See it made.
But is it affordable?
I don't know.
When they did the one in, I don't want to poo-poo it, but when they did the one in Leicester, they did a food place in Leicester, up Hamilton.
Yeah.
Down there. It's like 30 grand for something this size. What small business can offer
But
30 grand?
that is just like a closed shop that is just for food producers. This has got more of a nighttime kind of thing. Yeah.
It's a lot of money,
it is going to be a tricky proposition because it is that there's only a certain amount of retail space allowed, which is a little bit of a... But the buildings are a very, they have mezzanine things, and you can, if you want a very small unit to start out with, you can have that. If you want to grow into bigger, or you want a bigger unit, you can have that as well. So the plan is to nurture a business from something smaller to...
That's good.
But like you say, it's then pricing. I've not seen that because it's not done. I don't even think it's done by the council at the moment. It's another company that's sort of looking after it, and I haven't seen any. And that's the problem, because if it's a lot more expensive, you're just going to go to an industrial unit to do your production.
Yeah.
If it's very little retail, then so hopefully it should be of a good value, and then the more that people come down here, it
absolutely
all,
it's going to help.
You're
100%. Yeah,
and you want that kind of food community as well.
Yeah.
Like you learning off Round Corner, you learn off someone else over there and just dealing with each other.
And as well, it's like what Matt said from Great Food Club. He's like, his inspiration was to start the Great Food Club was, I always get that wrong. Sorry, again, for like the 300th time.
Edit out.
Was, no, I'll own my mistakes. Was that he drove past a sign that said the rural capital of food.
Yep.
And he went, is it? He went, you got pies, you got a bit of Stilton, I guess, but is it?
Yeah.
And he sort of has, championed that. So kudos to Matt for all his hard work. Thank you, Matt. But I think it's getting there in that sense, that these are the things that will make it the rural capital of food.
Yeah.
That's
what we'd love. And Matt has done a fantastic job. He found us early on. I think we were in the Melton Town Centre in the food truck. It might have been at Nottingham. Either way, he found us, and it was lovely to be in the guide, and that sort of thing is lovely. We even managed to go on a little tour with him at one point over Nottingham to find some.
Yeah, we want to do that.
I want to do it.
We want to do.
We'll do our own one.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Screw you, Matt.
We're going on a food tour.
We're going on our own.
Adam, we're going. Close the cameras.
Let's go.
That's out of here.
We need a camper van or something.
Oh,
got the
that's
caravan.
A good shot. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, and that was with
Max and Padder.
It was with bar manager at the time, Dan from Round Corner. He's a bit of a foodie as well.
Yeah,
so
he's always in rustic.
Yeah, he loves his food. So me and him went along with Philip and Matt around Nottingham and found some. And I suppose Dan was leading a bit more on the beer scene and the drinks area.
So you came home sozzled.
Yeah, so we went a few places. It was I love anything like that. That's my love that anyway. So I love the guide, love his work, and fantastic really that sort of thing. And he found us at a food festival or something like that, and then we managed to get in one of the awards around sort of COVID-y time. We managed to get down to the finalists. It was in street food and something category. So we loved that. We didn't quite win, which I'm not bitter about at all. No, it's fine.
Do you know what? We've been judges, and actually, it's a real tough gig being a judge.
It really is.
It's really tough and also really enjoyable, but it is really tough because you're making decisions like that. Like someone's gone, I didn't win, and it's just like,
And it could really help them as well. The awards are great because they really do help people.
Yeah.
Like, just notches their establishment up, like being award winners.
Yeah,
that is great.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, I can't. We were in a category with a few. There's a few sort of businesses we've almost grown up around and with, and which is lovely to see. Like the Chez Sebastian's Pizzas in Melton, like they were sort of at the same time as us. I know they used to come down Round Corner and do pizza, and I don't know whether they were in it that year or they might have won it. Actually, I can't remember who won it in that one, but yeah, it was lovely to just be shortlisted and stuff.
Is it nice eventually having a place about 20 yards away from where you first started? Is it a nice kind of little round circle?
It is. It's a lot warmer in the winter than standing out there as well. Like, bless the people that are still around there. They're like, oh, you got heating on in there, have you? And I'm like, come on in.
It's the freezing cold toes.
That I didn't miss, having to set it up and pack it back down again. And so it's lovely. It's lovely to be down here and opposite a brewery. It's just
sounds like hard work. Actually, like,
but
just go and try the new one.
Yeah. Well, just keeping up.
Oh, Somber's back.
Yeah. Oh God, is it? But yeah, that and you touched on it earlier on. It was that when we've got production down here anyway, so we didn't have the what's the word, feel the need that we had to fill out the seats every day of the week or was sort of screwed. We could do production down here on a quieter day. This was a bit of a bonus at the front, and yes, we need to build that and want to do more of that, but it wasn't like
the be all
if you had to be open, and therefore we didn't have to staff it up loads at the beginning because obviously that's a massive cost, and
isn't it?
That's that. If you then stood around and it's a dead day or whatever, it's soon a lot of money going out. So those sort of things were all little considerations. So we've sort of gone from literally nothing. At the moment I'm still in the kitchen on my own, which we're trying to get a bit of help going on there. So then we can do a bit more on the menu, and we can do a bit more, and we can do a bit more in the the delivery just eat sort of side as well. So yeah, we're sort of in that growing phase a little bit at the moment. Again, it's like. Someone was saying to me,
but sorry,
no, go. Yeah,
I was about to say, do you know, like all those growing stages though?
Yeah.
You think it hurts, it just keeps on hurting.
Oh God.
It doesn't get any easier,
don't tell me
because
that.
you just get different problems. I'm sorry, it's just the truth. Like, you're like, everything's great.
Yeah.
It's still really hard, and I've got to that point where I thought it would be easier.
Yeah,
it just keeps going.
I've got a bit of a reframe of mind after what's happened to us. Is all the little problems that you serve day to day that you thought were quite big problems, they ain't not big problems now. No. You know what I mean? It's kind of, you can deal with pretty much anything now. It's kind of
do you know what I've always heard this thing on a pod as well, was like, if a problem's still here in 2 weeks, it's a big problem. If it's not, then it's just it's not a big problem.
Because a lot of things are just little tweaks that people get kind of stressed about within the moment, but it's just like, right, it's over now. It's done. Yeah. It's done. It's not going to happen again. So,
that was it. I think it was so we worked with the Sir Thomas White Foundation charity over in Leicester. Fantastic. More people need to know about them, to be fair. They do loans for certain age group, as long as you're in Leicestershire, and grants, free grants. And we've managed to be very lucky and got both. We've had a loan from them, which helped fund in the building project, and we've had a grant off them for some equipment. And bless, one of the trustees was out the other day, and they run their own business and do whatever, and they're volunteers, and he was going through some of the stuff we were doing, and he was saying it's that you're almost at another jump. When you start a business, you sort of jump. You've got to do that jump thing of getting into and doing it. And he said, we're sort of in a second bit of that. You need to staff up, you need to do that. And it's another sort of like, I don't want to do it because it's like, well, I'm not paying myself enough yet, let alone having to pay everybody else. But I can't keep working in the business so much that I'm not working on it and growing it, because I'm literally doing everything day to day. So we're sort of like, you need to do that to grow, to do more, to everything else. So
the best thing I ever did was get a kitchen porter for Thomas the Caterer. The early days, I remember going, I had to wash all these plates up for this wedding. I was like, why am I doing this? I was like, I should be going out and getting customers. And I just remember, and I put an ad in the post office, and that afternoon I got a phone call, and she started 2 days later, and it was like, wow, I've just saved myself 25 hours a week. Now I've got 25 hours to grow, and it went, woof. I was suddenly like selling. I was making sales, not washing up.
That's exactly that. It's and now the realization has set in that's our sort of next process. To be fair, we had I wanted to get. So my brother, again, my family all help out. My brother, car sales background. And
Greasy geezer.
Oh no,
Slippery chap.
Oh no, we'll sort you out if you want to. Keep it in the family.
I've heard that you put paprika in the top and it works fine for a while. Got plenty lying around.
Matilda's. So yeah, the plan was we were trying to get him a job here. He was gonna do a bit of my wholesale side. He was gonna do sales and stuff like that. So that was the plan. We were getting ready for whilst we were moved into this. That was the plan. And around the same time, so we have a close relationship with the Melton Cheese Board in town. That's where we get a lot of our cheeses from before we smoke them. And bless the old owners, Tim and Lynn, were coming up to sort of wanting to retire. We stand next to them at market stalls that we do. And he just said in a little joke, he's like, "Oh, if you ever want to own a cheese shop or whatever," he doesn't sound like that. I don't know why I did that. But he sort of said that in a whim and whatever. And I said, "Oh, you never know. Yeah, I'll have a cheese shop. Melton Cheese Board, like you say, it's well renowned. It's a cornerstone of Melton. That and pork pie is sort of a." And yeah, so that was a few years back, and it was around the time that I was looking at getting my brother hopefully to involved in this business. He sort of said we're looking to retire and we'd sell the business. So fair enough, I couldn't really take it on myself, but my brother was at that point where he was looking to jump and do this. So we bought the cheese shop from them, and currently, so my brother and his wife run it. And so he ended up doing all that rather than joining in and doing the wholesale side of this. So that took up his time a little bit more. Bless
Damn it,
him.
another salesman down the
Yeah, and he's a fantastic salesman and great support and all the family. So yeah, that's how we sort of ended up with the cheese board. And now we do a little bit between both. Like we're always helping out both of it. We're sort of directors of both businesses anyway. So. Yeah.
How do you entwine both? Do you take the cheese board to markets as well? Or?
So there's one in particular, like Sutton Bonington, where we both have a little market stall. We've started, then we can tell them good ones that we're at. So Corn, Christmas one, and the other September type, the food and drink trail. Yeah. We both went down to that, and that was fab. And then we just sort of share resources and bits as well from. So like. Earlier today, I was doing a delivery, and then I was picking up from the Long Clawson dairy. We still pick up the cheese, Stilton from Long Clawson, Cropwell, Colston Bassett, drop them off at the shop. So, and I love all of that. I love like going around the dairies and whatever, and picking up the cheese and having a chat, and that's lovely. And we managed when we first took over. Me and my brother went round Long Clawson dairy. They invited us to have a look round all the procedures and how they make it all, which was I was in my element. Love all that. So yeah, we got into that. We'd love to do a bit more than that, and that's the thing. Between the two of us, we'd love to just expand the range. Because we're then chatting to creameries and dairies and stuff, whether they might want something smoked. Or we've not tried that yet. Between the two of us, we've sort of got a little
vertically integrated.
Yeah. So. That's a little bit of where we'd love to go. At the moment, it's just time and just getting around to doing everything. It's lovely but as you know, it's difficult to always get them done and get the time for it. But
speaking of time, we're actually running out of time. Oh. We've already almost gassed ourselves. So my question is: do you have any questions or pop quiz or whatever?
I have got a pop quiz. If you want to do a pop quiz,
whatever you want.
I've got questions for you.
Okay.
Got it. Are you ready? Okay.
As we ever are.
So barbecue themed.
Okay. Weber.
No. Oh, close. So close.
Being cute.
So, in what month of the year is UK Barbecue Week?
June.
Did you know we had a UK Barbecue Week as well? This is
June.
June. He's gone for June.
Wait, what month?
Yeah, what month? I won't ask for the date because that's just cruel.
July then.
17th of June.
So this year it was May. It was 3rd to the 11th of May. But yeah, look out for each year. We'll be doing a bit more of that. It's not.
What happens on Barbecue Week?
Oh, so there's the guys that run a whole website and page dedicated to it where they'll each day of the week there'll be another like an example of what you could do. So not just barbecuing, a sausage, like might be, leftovers. What can you do different with the leftovers on one day, or what can you do with fish on a certain day? Like, they have a little theme for each of the day of the week.
Okay.
There's loads of competitions. There's loads of stuff you can win. There's loads of just promotion about it.
They need awards, don't they? They need National Barbecue Awards.
Well, barbecue, that would be quite good. Or a little festival down here. That'd be quite nice.
To Matthew. He'll sort it out. He does all the awards.
Wow. Well, there we go. So this is a nice one.
It's 0-0.
What part of the pig is often referred to, or what cut of the pig is often referred to as a Boston butt in barbecue?
Boston butt.
Boston boot.
The butt.
Okay.
We have a little butt rub that we sell, and and we have to explain this a lot to people because we don't want it used in the wrong place, to be fair. They call it a Boston butt. It's actually the shoulder of pork. Sorry. I thought you were just giving up. Totally.
No, I was going to say. I thought it was like the leg.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. There, that's what you think. I still don't really know why that's originated, but yeah, shoulder. Pulled pork, basically, is.
I've had it, I've eaten it, but I thought it was the leg.
Call it, that's that. Sorry, I should have given you more time there. I thought you just. No.
We just gave up straight away. What part of that? No,
the butt? Is it the butt? No, it's not the butt. No, they didn't. No idea. So this is a bit of a barbecue thing. Like some people might know, maybe not. What is the name of the barbecue technique that involves cooking meat, then wrapped in foil once it's smoked to a certain time? So once you're smoking it, tends to get to a point where it sort of plateaus in temperature, and you wrap it up. You can like put some, tallow in, or some beer, or something like that,
and then hold it there and keep it
wrap it in the foil and put it back in, or wrap it in peach paper.
Yeah, what's the term? No, I don't know the term.
Okay, so that's
braising.
The Texas crutch.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
it is pretty much braising.
Texas crutch.
Yeah. That's what they call it, and that's what we get. Some people like, "Oh, do you wrap your meat?" That is a question that divides opinion in the barbecue world.
Right. Okay.
Does that go in big trays, and then you pour some liquor in, and then you wrap the tray, or do you just wrap the
whole joint? So you get the joint out, whack it on. Like they either have like a peach paper that's like a butcher's paper. Or foil, and just as you're wrapping it, you can just put in a bit of extra fat or beer or water, or spritz it with something, and then wrap it. Not a lot, it just sort of helps to keep, and then it helps with the temperature to keep it climbing. Rather, it gets to a bit where it sort of plateaus and it doesn't really. Or you can push through that and it might dry out a bit, but they're sort of the Texas crutch and wrapping your meat. One to be aware of.
That's where it becomes very interesting. What actually would be really interesting is a pod where we're just watching you do some smoking. It'd take a whole sodding day, but that would be good, wouldn't it?
And there'd be a few beers in between where we're not doing anything.
Life is terrible.
It's so different.
Taxi!
I know a good
we live on the same
place.
street, Lee.
So this one, you're probably not going to know the answer, but I just feel it's interesting anyway. But
we didn't know the answer to any.
No, sorry. Shall I do it? No, I'll do an easier. I'll do an easier one. At least you can get. So, what is the key ingredient in Texas barbecue rubs? Done in Texas, they generally have a lot of just one ingredient in their rubs.
Paprika.
Yeah, a smoked paprika. I was going to say.
No, black pepper.
Oh, really?
They do a lot of just salt and pepper.
Oh, really?
And that's all we put on like the brisket. We just different areas have so like some areas will have paprika, mustard, all sorts. They're just very.
Texas,
if you don't do
salt and pepper,
then you're ruining it. And I was like, we like to taste the decent beef over here.
Yeah.
Like so we go with that. Okay, this is the one. It's tricky.
Where do you get your beef from?
So, a mix. It's very difficult to source the right sort of brisket for smoking over here. You have to find good butchers, and then it's even finding because we've been working with March House Farm a lot. We get our pork from there. Their brisket tends to be a bit thin. It dries out. Like it's difficult to cook. So at the moment we've got some which are British. It's from an online butcher that we've got a relationship with that do barbecue sort of style and cuts. So, but our main thing was British because we're obviously at a cattle market. There's a lot of people that will have like American, like, because it's grain fed, it's very fatty, but they use steroids and other stuff and whatever. But yeah, so it's a Hereford and Angus cross, quite fatty, quite thick, but it's tricky to get and get right. It is a pain.
Yeah, you got to say, like, you get a brisket and sometimes you're like, oh, it's not very good.
Yeah.
You want it
The
to feel
fin
like
is
that.
not-
You see the ones on,
It's tough.
diners and dives, whatever, and you're like, whoa, look at that juicy boy.
They're massive over there because they're just grain fed and steroids.
Yeah, steroids.
But yeah, finding it over here a lot more difficult. We had a fantastic supplier when we first started. I'm like, wicked, we've cracked this, whatever. They went out of business. They were up in Scotland, wicked to deal with, went out of business. I was like, oh no, brisket, we might have to take off the menu. It was literally like,
really?
Struggled. But yeah, we found someone else who's fantastic at the moment. What else? According to Texas Monthly, the magazine of choice, who was rated as the top barbecue joint in Texas this year? It only came out the other month. It's always a big thing over there because like everyone will just go there. But if I'm totally honest, I hadn't heard of these people. I was
Mama's
following them.
Diner.
I was going to say Adam's Heels.
Ooh. Burnt Bean Co.
Burnt Bean.
So in the past, there's been like that. Aaron Franklin, have you ever heard of him? He's
Aaron
like
Franklin?
massive. Like people queue up round the block for hours and hours and hours, and it's like crazy over there. They won it one year, and it's just okay. So they are my main questions. I've got a bonus question if you really wanted to, and that is
Why not?
guessable because it's just asking for a number. So there is a lady.
That's what we like.
Yeah,
Guessing.
we'll go with this. This is a good one to finish on then. How old is the infamous Miss Tootsie, who is the pitmaster at the award-winning Snow's Barbecue in America? So
I
lady,
think I've seen this lady.
she's like a janitor. as
How
they call
old
it
is she
over.
now?
Yeah, how old is she? Still working the pits, bless her.
I think I've seen this video.
I've seen her. She's been on loads of stuff, actually.
Yeah, she's
infamous.
very
I'm going to
looks
say
lovely.
89.
89.
83.
It is 90. She's 90.
Yes! I
There you
win at the
go.
guessing game!
No, you didn't because
Yeah, I
you won
did.
out.
I'm closest.
No
Were
comment.
I'm close. I win. I win.
Man,
I
you can
win.
have it. You can have this
I
one.
win.
You can have this one.
Bless her, 90. I don't
Yeah.
know whether I can be still doing it.
No, I don't think I
it's,
could.
it's hot and hard work. Long
It's hard
hours,
work.
But they do it with ease, don't they, actually, at that
Yeah.
point? We've been doing it
It's all
so long.
outdoors over there as
Yeah.
well. It's lovely. They like don't have to worry about being inside and it absolutely sweltering hot and everything else. And it's just outside. It's relaxed. It's no EHO over there.
There must be.
With a mop, don't they? Over there, they're like. It's just,
Johnny, been an absolute pleasure. I don't think we really talked, which is sometimes quite nice.
Yeah.
I think you
Sorry.
just filled the airwaves, and that's fantastic. No, we like that. We don't have to eat questions out of you. It was great. Where can people find you? Tell the world. Speak to the camera too, wherever she is.
We are at Melton Mowbray Market, which is now called the Stockyard. In Melton Mowbray, we're opposite Round Corner Brewery. Come down and see us. Have some barbecue. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Stuff.
All right. One quick caveat. Thank you very much, John.
That's all right.
Thank
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sorry for missing this week's deadline. I've had people message me asking where the hell the podcast is.
What?
I know. What can I say? We're just a big deal. Life just gets busy, so we're sorry about that. But we are going to try and
Get this one out for Tuesday.
get this one out and get some recorded so that we're not lagging again.
True that.
Anything else to say?
See ya.
Goodbye.